Morning. We got a little bit of a rain shower last night, early this morning. Just enough to settle the dust. Get the grass wet. But I think today's project is start getting some bearings for those mid-row banders. I'm gonna price out bearings elsewhere other than the Bourgault dealer this time and clean up all these empty pails of sprayer antifreeze first, but price out some bearings elsewhere. Whoops. See if I can get different quality bearings or something. Like the amount of acres on the bearings now on the mid-row banders. There's no reason I should be blowing bearings now. 3,000 acres or whatever it was, and bearings are already starting to go. That doesn't seem right to me. So I just can't remember what kind of, like, I don't remember the bearing number, so I got to go find I think I have spare bearings in a toolbox somewhere for those mid-row banders. I just got to find that toolbox and get the number off the bearings and races, seal, and all that. Well, I might have to get the seal from Bourgault. I don't know. I'm going to check into it anyway. So I found a spare bearing for the mid-row bander. And, well, yeah, the race. But if I told them the bearing number, they know which race goes with it, sort of thing. So I just did some pricing for the first time ever. You know, normally in the midst of seeding, I don't price check when you're broke down. I zip to the dealer because it's easiest, it's the closest. Well, just the easiest, right? I go there, tell them what model of drill I have. They look it up. Here's your bearing, right? So at my local Bourgault dealer, this bearing and the race, or cup, some guys call it cup. So the bearing and the cup together is $20.14. Now, that's for NTN bearings at my local Bourgault dealer. NTN bearing, $20.14. Then I phoned Applied in Lloyd, like some of you guys were telling me for the old versatile disc. I phoned those guys to see what their price is for that same bearing. It was $22 and some cents. Or they can get a Timken equivalent for $26 and some cents. So it's like, well, it's a little bit more money, but I'm not going to go buy NTN bearings at Applied for more money than I can get it at the dealer. It's the same freaking bearing, right? Then I phoned my local auto parts store, told them the NTN bearing number, and they don't deal with NTN really, they deal with SKF. Now, my local auto parts store, they can get SKF equivalent bearings. Their price was, oh, and I almost forgot. The price that Applied and Lloydminster gave me was just the bearing, $22. You still got to buy the cup or the race. So they're out of the question. I'm not shopping there, that's for sure. But my local auto parts store, same equivalent bearing, but not NTN. They sell, they get SKF. Their price for the bearing and the cup was $17.32. So I'm not going to go with NTN bearings. I'm going to try the SKF, or actually, what do you guys think? Anybody that watches this video, give me your opinion. Have you had any experience between NTN bearings and SKF? Trying to do some research on SKF versus NTN. I did a little reading on the, online there, as much as you want to believe that. They both say they're reputable bearing companies, blah, 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 but whatever. Depends who you talk to, probably, sort of thing. Like John Deere guys versus Case guys. What have I got to lose, though, the way I'm looking at it? The SKF bearings are cheaper, and the research I've done seem just as good of quality, because these things are blowing out on that drill after 3,500, 3,000 acres or so. That's bullshit. So, I mean, SKF going to be any worse? I guess it would suck if they were worse. Do all the bearings now and then they pile up 2,000 acres or something. I don't know. But I'll let you guys watch this video, comment what you think, what bearing you'd go with, or what would be better. I'm leaning towards SKF, not just because it's cheaper, but I haven't really had much luck with this NTN, so why not try the SKF? What do you guys say? Oh, what the hell? Let's run out to the horseshoe area there, grab those hay bales, bring them back to the bale yard, right? I like burning diesel, right? So, oh, while we got this thing running, you know what else I wanted to do this fall? I'll show you when we get closer to the horseshoe. I wanted to tear down that old shack. It's supposed to be a calf hut, makeshift calf hut. It's an old car garage, but it's all, you can see it's falling apart. I mean, I could prop it up better and, you know, make it work, but I've only really seen calves in there a few times in the last 10 years. It's right in the way of where I want to, you know what I mean? It's just right in the way. We should tear that thing down. Well, we got the Magnum running. We'll take these, I think there's 4 bales here. We'll move these 4 bales to the bale yard. And then, yeah, maybe come back and tear that down. There's 4 posts pounded in each corner around the garage. Pull those steel posts out of the ground. Get them out of there, and it'll make it a lot more convenient to bed the cattle and stuff during calving right in that horseshoe area. Yeah, let's do that today, I guess. Hey, do you guys got any experience with that granular stuff, Edge? I was looking into it today for that buckwheat problem I got down at the in-laws land there. When I do the in-crop pass in the canola, it looks clean. Well, there's a few weeds coming, right? After you spray it, looks good. Cleans it up. Come time to combine it, or desiccate, swath it, whatever. Where in the frick did all the buckwheat come from? So somebody told me about this granular stuff, Edge. Good for buckwheat. You put it on in the fall, float it on or whatever with a floater, and then heavy harrow it in. Well, I've never tried it. I talked to the one big farmer in this area. He's never used it either, which kind of surprised me. I thought he would have, but he hasn't. So I priced it out. It's a few bucks an acre to do it. Plus, I got to get the floater guy to do it, pay him. And then I got to go heavy harrow it in after. So it's not exactly cheap to do. Just to find out it didn't really do anything anyway. So do you ever use that Edge stuff? Did it work good on buckwheat, say? Like, I don't really want to go spend all the money and then find out it doesn't really work. Let me know. Well, first things first, I guess we'll get the steel posts pulled out of the ground. There's a post at each corner of the garage, so we'll pull them out of the ground and then go from there. Okay, I got those 2 steel posts pulled out of the ground, but these ones over here on this end, I forgot it's got that crossbar on it to keep the cows from going in there. So, I mean, we could probably pull the posts out of the ground with it on there, but it'll get all twisted and bent up. So I think what I'll do, run back to the bale yard, grab the service truck, and then what we'll do is take the service truck, portable welder, and plug in the extension cord and the angle grinder and grind off those welds on each end, and then have that crossbar separate, and then we can pull the post out of the ground after we get that cut off. I think that'll just be easier to deal with cutting it off now than after. So yeah, we'll go grab the service truck and come back. Yeah, this service truck, not the new one. You got an extension cord, yeah. Should have everything in here. Angle grinder. Yep. Let's go cut that thing off. This is a perfect time to do this too. It just rained last night. The sun hadn't been out all day. You can see the water spots on the grass still. So it's nice and wet. So yeah, we'll grind these welds off. Right here and here. Hopefully I didn't weld it very good when I welded it. Whenever I did that. The welds would be easy to zip off. And we'll get her tore apart here. Yeah, this thing's garbage. I mean, it's raw. Yeah, it can be fixed up, but like I say, I've never really seen cabs in here. Oh, there's some steel troughs in here or something. Oh, an old TV antenna stuck in the rafters. Frick's sakes. Oh well. Well, that's a good beam right there. Oh no, that's just 2x6. I thought that was a 4x6. Anyway, I'm tired of looking at it like this. It's gonna fall right over one of these days and end up crushing a calf or something if we don't fix it. So by looking at it, it ain't worth fixing. I'm just gonna tear it down and yeah. Anything made out of wood, cows just destroy. Okay. And then what I'm gonna do is get this shack out of here, calf hut out of here. Now with this piled up manure here, I will keep bedding the cows all the way along here, right to that corner of the, like basically the entrance to the horseshoe. This part's not the horseshoe, it's in there is. But with that gone, I can keep coming down this way with that manure pile, putting straw down right here and feeding them right in here. And then over time, pile up the straw just like that, pile it up there and have a nice row all the way. Almost as if it's a hazing fence to get a cow in. If you got to get her in, put her in the horseshoe. And there's a little tiny corral right there we built. We can load out of there, take her to the yard, to the maternity pen. We used to, well, it is basically a maternity pen there, homemade maternity pen out of wood. And it's pretty rotten. I've kind of fixed it up somewhat. It works good enough to get the cow in there, just to back the trailer in to load her up. That's about all we use it for now. I got that tough mat pen right at the barnyard there, so I just do that. And that can work as an overflow maternity pen, right? If the one at the yard's being used, we could always bring her here and leave her here. We just bring her to the yard because it's easy to feed her and water her at the yard, right? Here you got to pack water, pack feed. So anyway, getting off track here. Ooh, it's cooling off. That sun's going down. Man, I dicked around town, lining things up for, next year's seed, canola seed, and this and that. Man, that stuff just takes time. Figuring that out. What variety you're going to use this year and whatever. Talking to the guys about that Edge, which is why I asked your guys' opinion. I've never used it. It's expensive, like 40 some bucks an acre, just over 40 bucks an acre, including the floating. And I got a Harrowwood after. I just don't know if I want to spend that kind of money and find out it doesn't really work that good. So hopefully one of you guys can give me some first-hand experience with it. Anyway, let's get this well. Oh, I suppose the welder's out of gas too, because it was on the aeration fan last, wasn't it? Pretty sure it was. Well, maybe not. Maybe I fueled it up. Must be gas in it because it would have quit by now if it was empty. Or I wouldn't have started at all. Okay. Well, just for those 4 welds, that was sure giving this grinder the torture test. Some kind of grinder is this? Bosch. Look at her smoking. I think it's burnt out. Burnt it right out. It still works, but it's pretty hot. Oh well, we'll let her sit there till it cools off, I guess. I don't want that in the cab, stinking the cab up. Okay, well, I should take this mineral tub. Oh, of course the pipe's on it now. Come on. Well, that took care of that job. Go back, get the Magnum before it gets dark. And yeah, like I said, I was dicking around town, looking at lining things up for next spring. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to make this work. Well, I know how we can make it work. Just I'm not sure I want to go that deep. And if I'm able to go that deep, you know what I'm saying? I can always borrow more money. Well, for me, like I was saying in the other video, to a point, I can only borrow so much without having, you know, something as collateral or whatever. I think we'll be able to make it next year. And if next year yields and prices are like this year, I don't know. I just don't know. But let's go grab the Magnum before dark, get the posts pulled out of the ground, and we'll take those steel posts somewhere where we won't lose them and forget about them in the tall grass here. Get them out of here, and then if the ground freezes, we can... I'm not sure I'm going to do any more tonight. Wife will have supper on... Oh, it's probably ready now, actually. Surprised he hasn't phoned. But yeah, we'll go pull these 2 more posts. That way, if the ground does freeze, we can come back to this, tearing this shack down when it's cold out. That's a better job to do when it's cold anyway. I can do that when it's, you know, 20, 30 below. Don't matter. Should be taking care of other stuff that can be done while it's still kind of warm out, like those mid-row bander bearings. What the heck else? Other repairs, that other new to me service truck. Tinker with that thing before it gets too cold. But anyway, we'll grab the Magnum. Yeah, we got new tires on Thomas today. And then the Uptown truck is getting new tires Thursday or Wednesday or in a few days anyway. All the steel posts are out of the ground and in the bucket. See it sticking out there, the one of them. We'll take them over to the... Oh, there's a few more joints, like 30-foot joints I got over by the bale yard there. We'll drop them off there and use them in the future as we need them. Well, I guess that's it for today. I don't think I'm going to come back. What I should start doing is tinkering in the garage with that 97 700. Get it super tuned for bung bung. But as for today on the farm, I think I'm going to call that good enough. Tomorrow I got to go down to Buddy's place and give them a hand getting cattle in, sorting, loading trucks or whatever. They're going to sell some calves, so that's tomorrow's project. But if you made it this far into today's short little video, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.